Hey guys, it has been a minute. It's been 2 years since we recorded chapter 7 of BOAE with Chris, and a lot has happened. Mostly good stuff, nothing crazy. Yeah, of course, not recording for 2 years, I'm gonna have a lot of updates. Duh. A few things. Beam has gone live, but Beam is what was previously called 5.6. So we had a little rebrand because the name 5.6 I think carried a lot of personal meaning to me, but on going to the market I kind of found that it wasn't really resonating with our customer base. So we did a little rebrand. We're called Beam now, and yeah, a lot of thinking went into that name, but I love it. Beam, like a light beam, like just embodying what it means to shine and to illuminate every room our screens are in. That's the essence of Beam. So that is us. We are live. We are in a few locations. I started the initial launch in Stamford here in the US, and learned a lot really quick about what was working and what wasn't. And over time, I started to shuttle back and forth between Nigeria, my home country, and the US. And I took the opportunity to explore what the market would look like in Nigeria. And it was quite the journey. I learned a lot in a short time. A lot of things that I do not want to deal with, and a lot of opportunities as well, because that market is largely untapped. Now, when we even talk about programmatic advertising, I mean, this is a call to someone out there to go build an ad exchange for digital billboards in Nigeria. We might do that later, but that's one of the big gaps that I saw while being there. But not to say it wasn't a successful journey. I will say it was a success. We ended up installing our screens in 2 pharmacies, got access to about 6-7 more before I came back. And I think with a little more effort, we can definitely do something there. But then, the case or the point has to be made about focus. So that's been the challenge. So coming back to the US, the plan was to continue the efforts within the US, just a few things like spending power, blah blah blah. But we're not leaving that market. We are going to continue pursuing our global approach and continue to keep the mindset of we want our screens to be ubiquitous. We want our screens to be everywhere there is a physical location that people sit down to spend some time. So that said, what are we doing now? Big question. So we're refining the CMS platform. We're refining Beam's platform. We are adding AI features. We are exploring channels. So actually curating content that people can watch and be entertained while they're in these locations. Because at the end of the day, our screens solve a problem for the store owner by providing them with revenue. But importantly, they also provide entertainment. So we cannot replace the screens that were previously in stores, showing TV or YouTube or whatever, without replacing the entertainment factor, right? The screens still have to entertain the guests. Can't just show people ads for 30 minutes straight. So we are exploring feeds, and that's going to be a very interesting announcement in the coming weeks as we establish some new channels like Beam TV, like a channel that's dedicated to AI content as well, because right now these AI videos are getting really good, right? And it would be backwards to deny or ignore that as an emerging category of entertainment. Soon enough, inference or intelligence is going to be cheap enough that models like Seedance or Google VO will be available to more people to make much longer content. Right now, I think it's very expensive to produce those videos, but people are getting really creative, and I envision that our channel dedicated to just AI generated content is going to become something of a spectacle at some point in the near future as content starts to become really good, and people will catch on to this, of course. So yeah, other than that, we're establishing like an agent network to be our on-ground sales force. So that's exciting. That's coming out. If you have a friend who knows a couple of locations or anything, definitely tell them to reach out to me. We are getting agents onboarded every day. I guess continuing on from chapter 7, I guess chapters 1 through 7, it's only right that I address updates or give updates on some of the things that have changed since then. So besides the rebrand, I did not pursue the plans for renting out supercars and expanding my Airbnb portfolio because, I am really passionate about one thing, and that is building. Whether that is physical things or intangibles like software today. So I found myself just get sucked into the process of building Beam as well as other software tools. And that's what I leaned into, to be honest, in the last 2 years. I just leaned into that and I've enjoyed it. Yeah, that's the update on those plans. I'm completely committed to building software solutions and building physical businesses too that are heavily supported by software. So for example, Beam is one where we have hardware, we have physical screens in the real world, but our real, where we spend a lot of time is on the software, making that software palatable, making that software super valuable to all the venues and advertisers who we will be onboarding right onto our software, onto our platform as our network continues to grow. So yeah, that's the update. And yeah, I mean, in the meantime, I also became a manager at the top consulting firm. So there's that. Been working, it's been crazy. Trying to balance all this, honestly, is 3-4 jobs in one. But hey, we chose this life because we love what we do. And it's not about the end goal. It's not just about the end goal. The journey itself is very fulfilling. So through every difficult night, difficult day, difficult moment, it's always good to keep perspective, and that's what keeps us going in this journey. So and also just delivering impact, right? Like giving back to people, creating additional economic opportunities for store owners and connecting brands to people, as well as entertaining people. So all of these things I love to do. All of these things are why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I hope to continue to bring these things to the world. And just watch this space, right? There's a lot to come from here. Yeah, so in other news, I've leaned into some other software bets like AI. I know in one of the old videos, I talked about like the future of AI, where I kind of alluded to the fact that there were jobs that were not going to go anywhere, and then there were jobs that were definitely at risk. And back then I talked about physical businesses, right? Like land, home ownership, rental properties as not going to be, and I still think that is definitely true. In fact, more true now than ever. In fact, I would go as far as saying the safest thing you can do right now for the future is own a business, because at least you get to control your means of production and you cannot get let go. You can leverage AI, but you cannot be replaced by AI because you are the business owner delivering a service to people. So yeah, and as we know today, a lot of companies are laying people off with literally no explanation. So there's that. But yeah, on my part, I've you know, I'm a data guy, I'm a business intelligence guy. So I've been working with some companies to help build out an AI tool that pretty much studies their business, their data, and can tell them what's coming. So more to come on that. It's kind of still in stealth. So I'm onboarding companies by hand, I want to say, like really manually, and working with them at this time while we perfect the product and what we have to do. And but yeah, I give daily updates on Twitter now. So if you follow my Twitter, you can get some updates on how that's coming along. I expect we will launch sometime this year, but you know, I will continue to share updates as they come. And then finally, you know, dabbling into a little bit of consumer apps. So I had dreamt up a companion app for Beam or 5.6 at the time, and I think there's still room for that. I'm just kind of pacing it out to get some traction on the other things I'm working on before shifting a little bit of focus again towards that consumer app. But the idea is completely valid right now. I think with AI agents and everything, that gives us a lot of enablement to do what we want to do. So I think that's also something exciting that I share updates on Twitter, and in the next couple of months should have like an MVP live with people being able to use it. So yeah, we're in build season, founder mode, whatever other acronym there is to describe whatever this is. Not, yeah, so yeah. Anyways, I'm glad to be back. I will be doing this series more now, either, you know, recording videos directly for Beam, sharing latest updates, and building back the consistency of updating this page, because this is my personal journal through the journey of building something that will outlast me. And yeah, what can I say? We're in this for life. We are going to keep shape-shifting until we find our fit. Don't be surprised if we pivot again into something else or rebrand or something, but hey, right now we seem to be onto a good thing, so we're going to see that through, and you guys are going to hear all about it once I publish new videos. So stay tuned and watch this space. Thank you.